Our topic today is ethical issues surrounding keeping animals as pets. Many people get companionship and create happiness by keeping pets. And certain animal species have long history of being human companions, and examples of such include dogs and cats. It is unethical to force animals that are in the wild or that live in the wild and keep them as pets. This would be morally wrong. And that is the reason why we need to look at some of the ethical issues that surrounds keeping animals as pets. One is inappropriate environment. When we keep animals in an environment that is not suitable for their comfort or for their living, we'll be keeping them under inappropriate environment. An example of such is keeping birds in small cages, fish in bowls or small tanks, or we keep large dogs in small flats or small kennel. And when animals that are chained up for a long time, this will be keeping animals under inappropriate environment. Number two is inappropriate treatment. When we do any of these on our pet animals, we'll be treating them inappropriately. When we give too little, too much, or wrong food to our pets, when we give our animals or pets insufficient exercise, when we provide insufficient space to keep in tune with the size or space requirement of the animal, when we do not give adequate veterinary attention to our pets, and when we don't give training or we give little training to our animals, this will be inappropriate treatment. Because good training will give a dog, for example, a happier and a more fulfilling life. Number three, when we keep our animals or put them under a situation that gives the impression that they are being inappropriately treated. And these are the these are some of the situations in which we treat our animals or pets inappropriately. Insufficient companionship. Apart from the companionship that animals should have from human beings, they also need to have members of their own breed around them. That is why if you are keeping dog, for example, as pet, it should not be only one dog. It should be at least two. When we fail to spend enough time with the animal or with our pets, it's inappropriate treatment. When we practice on natural veterinary um, um, practices on our pets, for example, tail docking, castration, it is inappropriate treatment, except in cases where these actions will benefit the animal. For example, an animal that is used for walking can be castrated or tail docked. Showing cruelty, neglect, and abandonment of attention, abandonment of the pet is inappropriate treatment. The next issue is inappropriate animals. Animals must be used appropriately. In other words, when an animal is a wild animal, we should leave them in the wild. And that is an aspect of showing respect to the wild animals. Private owners can rarely provide the proper conditions for keeping some exotic animals. So if you are unable to take care of exotic animals, we shouldn't even delve into taking them as pets. When we have domesticated animals bred for high activity or agricultural work, we shouldn't keep them idle. We must use them for the purpose for which they are bred, and we shouldn't put them in small flats that is small for them. Domesticated animals that are bred for fighting, we shouldn't use them as pets. Otherwise, when we do this, we are using the animals inappropriately. The next one is overbreeding. In our breeding attempts, and in order to satisfy our pleasure, we sometimes overbreed or overbred our domestic animals and our pets. And when we do this, we want to particularly emphasize some characteristics. Sometimes it may be too much hair. In such cases, the hairs may be covering their eyes, or when the size is too big to the extent that they begin to make the animals to be under some level of discomfort or suffer some pains. Some domestic animals are so overbred that they are at the greater risk of genetic defects or diseases. This will be inappropriate. This will be an inappropriate action, especially when we do overbreeding of our animals. The next one is exploitation. Using an animal to earn money or beg is considered to be exploiting the animal, and this violates their rights. When we buy animals from a puppy farm, then we turn it into a kind of a business wherein we force animals to produce offspring at our own pleasure, and this one is exploitation of the animals. When we use animals for crime, this is a clear exploitation of animals. We are not talking about animals that are trained to detect criminals or which is used for security purpose. But when we use them to commit crime, we are actually exploiting the animals. Lastly, when we breed homeless animals, is an ethical issue because homeless animals will suffer from cold, hunger, and diseases, and they are also susceptible to multiple attacks by human beings. Every unwanted bat poses the problem of how to accommodate them. Then they become nuisance on the streets, running around, and then, you know, giving the impression that they have no owner. Homeless cats and dogs can cause the death of other animals, especially those that they themselves hunt, like cats and dogs can hunt chicken and cause their death. Homeless cats, dogs, and other pets or companion animals are more at risk of diseases, attacked by other animals, including human beings, and they may be involved in accidents. Let me have your feedback, your questions on the platform, and in respect of this topic that we have just treated. We see in the next class. Thank you.